Manchester United fans. Manchester United lose 3-0 at Manchester City. And look, at the start, I was saying we don't need to do this. Going to give this guy plenty of time to get it right and to get everything where it needs to be. However, I think conversations need to be had. Conversations need to be had. We've been waiting far too long for a change in our fortunes. We've been waiting far too long for a change in the way that we play football. Ultimately, we have been waiting too long. And I think we've got to a part now as football fans where we have to look at ourselves and we have to deem what we think is acceptable for this club. Now, I watched it today. My nose rings shiny. I watched it today with Kev, and there was a lot of confusion from myself, from Kev as well, as to just what do we want from this club? What do we want from this manager? The warning signs are already there. The warning signs for myself as a football fan, as a Manchester United fan, should have already been there at the start of the season when I was sat here talking to you all and saying, do you know something? As long as we can get Europe, I don't care how we do it, we have to do it. We have to get it. That already was a red flag. As a Manchester United fan, that was a red flag. Yes, you can call it, expectance and not naivety. That's the wrong thing, but you can call it a whole base of things. But I actually sit here as a football fan, a United fan, and say my whole demeanour of what I expect as a football fan of United has gone in the bin. It's gone in the bin. Like, at what point am I sat here in front of you people tonight saying, as long as we get into Europa, as long as we get into the Conference League, no other football fan of a big club, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle, no other football fan is sat there saying, as long as we get Conference League, we'll be okay. We're not. And I fear that actually I think I've been gaslit as a Manchester United fan. I do. I think I've been absolutely gaslit into thinking that we're in this rebuild and things could improve. We've seen clubs go through bigger changes than what Manchester United had. We saw Chelsea finish 12th, was it, the one season? Straight back up there into Champions League, into Europa League, doing what they should be doing, winning the World Club Championship. I said that I'd give him till January. And look, I don't want to sit here and say a Manchester United manager should get sacked, but I have to sit here and ask you, how much longer can this go on? Now, Kev and I sat there, and Kev, to be fair to him, tried to write out a team for this formation that would work. And look, we're football fans. We shouldn't know more than the manager. We absolutely shouldn't. But here we are. We're having this conversation. Nothing that we tried worked. We talk about Bruno Fernandes, and I will get onto Bruno in a bit. I'm willing to sit here and say that the players let us down today. Of course I am. But the players are playing in a system that doesn't suit them, that they do not feel comfortable with. It's as simple as that. And I'll get into the comments, don't worry. I will get into the comments. But I think we have been sold a complete dream here. We got sold the dream that this young manager was going to come. He was up and coming. He was doing things at Sporting Lisbon. He was going to revolutionise the way that Manchester United played. He'd come in November, and yeah, he told us all that there was going to be a lot of pain and a lot of suffering and the bad days were coming. We never expected this to go as bad as it has. Now, you can say a lot of things. You can say, well, look, we're still in the ascendancy of trying to get it right. But what Ruben Amorim is doing is consistently making different decisions with regards to the players. And we saw that today. We absolutely saw that today. It was the game that you would have put Bruno Fernandes in a 10. He didn't. He dropped him into central midfield. Ugarte, I thought, as much as I've said so many things about him, I thought he was okay. I thought he did well. I thought he had fight and determination. It's going from bad to worse. I did see something that I want to bring up for you all. Let me just bring this up a second. Where was it? I found it. This is damning, by the way. This is absolutely damning. Is it that one there? Yes, it is. Perfect. Right, let me bring this up for you to look at, chat. So this for me, any football fan in the world, if you look at this, you are going to say, what the hell are we doing with this manager still in charge? I get that we have this whole situation where we sack managers and it doesn't work out, and blah-de, blah-de, effing blah. But this here is damning. This here is absolutely damning. And you can say, oh, well, Spurs are 16th. You know, Spurs are just ahead of us. But do you know what Spurs did? They sacked their manager and they brought Thomas Frank in because they understood that it wasn't good enough. Yeah, they got into the Champions League by winning a trophy, by winning the Europa League. When I look at this stats and I look at Wolves, who are 5 points ahead of us, have lost their first 4 games this season. You know, I look at Palace, I look at Bournemouth, I look at Forest, for Christ's sake. I look at all these clubs, West Ham. West Ham are in an absolute mess. My question is, how much longer do we allow this merry-go-round to go on? How much longer do we sit here and try and accept mediocrity? We are 14th in the table tonight, 14th. I'll bring this back up in a sec, don't worry. Let me just remove that a second. Let me just come off that. Bring me back. Bring me back. It's not good enough. And the manager come out today, and I wrote a couple of points down whilst I was listening to it because I wanted to talk about it. Let me bring these up. Let me bring this up. So he said to who was it? Was it Pat Nevin? I think he was talking to. He said, the way that the formation is, we shouldn't be worried about it because it's 3 defenders lining up then with 5 midfielders. Ruben. We have watched your games so much. We watched we're Manchester United fans. We watch it every week. There is not 5 midfielders in this formation. It is a 5-2-3. And because of that is where you're seeing us being overrun each and every time with the midfield 2 are trying to do the job of 4. So I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. Then he come out and he said, we played against a coach who's won for the last 7 years. Yeah, Ruben, we beat them last year. You've beat this coach. So you can't be saying this. And then he followed it up with, it's the small details that are letting us down. And this, for me, I don't agree. I don't agree that it's the small details. I think it's still a classic case of you are playing players who shouldn't be in the first team. You are playing players in positions that shouldn't be of a Manchester United 11. He also said about, this was Gary Neville. Now, Gary Neville said this, and I thought it was damning. Doku was moved into a new position he'd never played for Manchester City. And the reason that was done was because Pep Guardiola looked at our 2 central midfielders, which in the first half, we saw Ugarte being overrun so many times because Bruno's discipline didn't allow him to be back there doing the job. Doku moved in there, and that was the first goal. Doku picked the ball up in a sort of calm position, took it round Luke Shaw. Yes, admittedly, Luke Shaw perhaps should have done something there. Dorgu, he flies past. The ball goes in. It comes back off Ugarte. He then follows it up with another cross. And what happens? Bruno Fernandes, who's too busy looking that way, doesn't have the tactical nous to see Phil Foden, who's 4 foot nothing, glide past him and get a header into the back of the net. Absolute, honestly, misery. Let me go through some of these comments, and I want to know what you guys are thinking tonight. Chappie says, and good evening, Chappie. He says, has Amorim improved by coaching any player to use his system? No, he hasn't. He has made Bruno a worse player by playing him in a different position. 31 points from 31 games. Do you think it's good enough? And look, it absolutely is not good enough. There are so many issues here. Andy says, Chappie, definitely not. He has to go. Big up to Nath. Mrs. Potts says he's got to go, Dan. Warbso says, bloody hell, I saw the notification of thumbnail and thought Amorim had gone. Got my hopes up there. No, if it was him, I'd have put he'd gone. Don't worry. I think we need to have this conversation as fans. Kev, good to see you, mate. Mustafa says, this is worse than Ten Hag. Ineos has got it wrong. We need a change. What else have we got here? Jamie says, evening, Dan. I fear for the club. I love the manager. I feel it for the club I love, and the manager, I think he has to go. Pip says that was shit today. And yes, make sure you like and subscribe if you're new. Help the channel grow. It's all because of the work that you guys put in. Andy says we need to go in another direction. What this is, I don't know. And look, that's the scary part. We genuinely don't know. He'll get the rest of the season and rest of this season and next, says Ben. Ben, you know I love you. But let me bring it back up. Where is it? Let me just make myself a bit smaller there. You cannot get the rest of this season and next season. I can't even do it when you're looking at that. If you base it on that, we get relegated. If you base it on a season and next season, we won't be in the Premier League to try and get into Champions League. We won't be in the Premier League to fight up there and make a name of trying to disrupt that top two, which at the moment is City and Liverpool, potentially Arsenal. I think to say that we give him that long, I don't know, mate. I don't agree. I can't agree on that. Wahaha, good to see you, mate. 8 wins in 31 games. Can see this getting worse. Well, look, it could be 8 wins in 32 games. We've got Chelsea next. Chelsea are going to be looking at that game. And yes, Chelsea have a bad record at Old Trafford. Chelsea are going to look at that and say, no chance. We're going there to get the win. And as Ben follows up, make sure you hit the likes, people. Ahmad and Dorgu were a waste of time. Sesko will fail like Hoyland. Good comment there. Good comment there. Mazraoui did okay on the wide right back position. Our 2 wing backs, though, are not good enough for the formation. They're not. They're not creative enough. They're not explosive enough. They don't do anything in the final third enough. We've tried Ahmad there. Doesn't work. We've obviously got Dorgu there at the moment. We've tried Dallo there. Doesn't work at left wing back. We're looking at a summer where we bought these players in and said it was going to change things. I'm looking at this team saying we need another 250 million. It's the 4th game. It's the 4th game. Carl says, hey, I got to say that was a toothless display today. Looked all over the place, especially in attacking areas. Roy Keane was absolutely spot on. You know, lowest yellow cards in a derby. No one really fighting. I want to see fight in these games. I want to see players, if they're getting beat, get angry. I didn't see one player get angry today. The only time I saw a player get angry was Bruno Fernandes when he was a mistake for the first goal and turned around going, ugh. I don't see players getting angry. I don't see it. In a derby, that is the one game where you pull your socks up, you get your big boy pants on, and you fucking go for it. Yeah, I swore. But I'm not annoyed at this club at the moment. I'm not annoyed at this manager who persists with a formation that is ultimately going to get him sacked. The players won't get him sacked. We can sit here and we've all seen managers have a group of players that you go, do you know what? They're not playing for the manager. I don't even think it's that anymore. I don't think it's that. Ruben Amorim will get Ruben Amorim sacked. It's as simple as that. He is in control of his own destiny here. And if he continues to persist with this, well, then that is where the problems are going to come from. That is where the problems are going to start getting worse and worse. Chelsea next, man. Chelsea next. It's just a mess. Jamie says the only thing is that we have played so many different formations and they haven't worked out. So is it the players and the managers? And I go back to what I just said. With these players in a different formation, we will not be as bad as we are now. There is no way that in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 that we are as bad as we are now. Players looking lost. Kev made oh God, there's no swore again then. An amazing point for the first goal. You had such a gap between Lenny Yoro and De Ligt and Luke Shaw and then Dorgu. It was laughable. City, you could see exactly where they were going to push, exactly where they were going to go. Honestly, can see us finishing 17th now. I think if he loses to Chelsea in the same manner, he's gone, I'm afraid to say. I mean, look, let me bring this up a second. Let me just, where is it? I asked this question before and I'm sick of asking the question, but I will ask it. Lose against Chelsea. Is his time up? Nice and simple as always. I always say that. Lose against Chelsea, is his time up? Put your votes in there. I want to see. Queen Sophie says, told you his style doesn't work, and I agree. I personally think he is gone by Christmas, to be honest. Does he last that long? I think he'll be gone before then. There we go. And hit the likes and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you do so. Mrs. Potts is on the case. Bill Ashby, hello, evening all, and hello, Dan. Another United crisis here. Lots of blame for Amorim, but not so much for Berardi and Wilcox, who were the guys who got Dan Ashworth the sack when he didn't want them. Yeah, okay, you can put a bit of blame on Berardi and Wilcox, I suppose, but did they pick the team? Did they go with this formation? This manager has come out to every interviewer, every person that's interviewed him, and said the same thing. The formation works. It will get there. I think the Manchester United board after this today considering we have had a very, very slow start to the season, I think they are going to have to speak to him. And I think they're going to have to say, look, Ruben, you've tried it. You've tried it, but dude, and I bring it back up. Dude, this ain't working. Like, this ain't working. Like, 31 points in 31 games, goal difference minus 13. That is relegation. That is relegation. The only reason we didn't get relegated last season is because there were far more worse teams, bizarrely, than us in the tables, in the league. So look, you can blame it on, we can go for the whole, it's Omar Barada and it's Jason Wilcox, but they don't pick the team. They don't persist with putting Bruno Fernandes, who has been a cam most of his career, who is 31 years old and is never going to be that player who has the engine to go up and down, up and down, up and down. They're never going to do that. They're never going to pick him and tell him to be there. Everyone in the world, regardless of who you support, knows that Bruno Fernandes is a luxury in that sense. You put him as a 10, you let him create. We said about it today, 4-2-3-1. You put him in the middle of that three. You put him in the middle of Brian and Cunha. You have Sesko up top, and you let them work their magic. In this formation, it just doesn't work. This man doesn't do anything, says Wahaha. Sophie will be bottom 3 by Christmas. Listen to Big Jim. He loves what he's doing. He isn't going anywhere. Well, do you know something? He may love him, right? Okay. I've had people work for me in the past. I think they're amazing people. And when I talk to them, I'm like, yeah, you're mint, you are. But if you're shit at your job and the results aren't changing, then you got to go. You got to get out of here. It's done. What are we having a conversation for? Do you know what I mean? Not aimed at you, that Ben. Kenny says this job is too big for Amorim. Let's be honest, and I agree. I think it is. His press conference his press conferences don't fill me with much confidence. Sophie says my 4-0 prediction wasn't far away. To be honest, sorry guys, but I do think no one apologize, right? No one. This is something I want to get off my chest because I watched a couple of fan channels afterwards. I wanted to get the feeling for what other fan channels of Manchester United were saying, right? And you had one that was blaming it all on Luke Shaw, but you had another one who said if we think that Ruben Amorim should be sacked, we're idiots. Yeah, we're idiots. We're idiots for thinking that this is acceptable. Let me bring it back up. We're idiots for thinking this is acceptable. We're idiots for the guy. We all know who the guy is. I'm not gonna say his name again. But the guy in question wanted Ten Hag sacked. The guy in question wanted Ollie sacked for far less. Sorry. You are not Manchester United fans. You are not idiots if you think that the way that Manchester United are being run at the moment, the way that we are performing on the pitch, the way that we seem to line up every fucking week, you are not idiots for thinking that this manager is not good enough. Who can honestly say that you are an idiot when you are looking at that? Who can honestly say that you are idiotic for thinking that this isn't good enough? I'm 38 years old, right? I've seen us win everything. I've seen the lot. I've been very privileged to do so. I've seen other teams win things, fail miserably, have to start again and push themselves back up. They've done that within a couple of seasons. They've done, bar Liverpool, who are waiting to win the Premier League for a long time. Do you know what? They were still winning cups, though. They were still winning Champions Leagues, though. We are so far away from being involved in anything to do with a title run, anything to do with Champions League. It is making me physically sick. So when I hear these other fan people, these other channels with their millions of followers tell us that we're idiots, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about with that. I don't know what you're talking about with that. All I do know is you sit there from on your pedestal looking down at other fans because you have all of these people following you, all these people watching that you then gaslight into thinking this is acceptable. I watch that and I go, how? How do you get to do that? It annoys me. I'm sorry I'm ranting, but it's just not good enough. Ruben is staying. Only way he gets fired is if we get relegated. I mean, Jarl, this is, and again, not aimed at you, my man. Not aimed at you at all. I'm glad you've put that comment. In what world should a Manchester United fan base be saying that? Do you remember 5-10 years ago, manager would get sacked if we didn't get Champions League football? Yes, I know that Ineos have inherited an absolute shit show from the Glazers. I understand that. I see it. That's fine. But I've seen other clubs inherit worse shows than that. This is not a case of blame it on them, blame it on them. This is a case of focus on what's in front of you. And what's in front of you at the moment with this 3-4-3 is not working. I'll bring it up one more time. I don't care. I don't care. Let's go for it. We'll bring it up one more time. Let's bring it up one more time. This is not good enough. It's not good enough. And I have to sit there and listen to rival fans tell me, oh, God, United are shit. Oh, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's so bad. Mike says, Dan, I'll be honest, I tried backing this manager, but from Grimsby to now, it's been very evident this formation isn't getting the best out of our players. Something really needs to change. And it does. And quickly, you're right. It absolutely is right. It's not going to change, though. Nothing I have seen from this manager has shown me he can adapt to what is going wrong. He can change things. I said to Kev today, the greatest managers are able to change things when they're not going right. They're big enough and ugly enough to say, that wasn't working. We're moving it. We're changing it. We don't do that. We have a manager who still stands there in front of you all and says, no, don't worry. Don't worry. Look, today, it wasn't the formation today. It was just little things going wrong. Absolute nonsense. And I worry about Ruben. Like, what does he watch? Like, what is he watching? For him to come out and say, it's just the finer things. It's not the finer things, Ruben. You will get yourself sacked from this job if you don't change. If you do not change what you are doing, you will be gone. And you will be another joke, another meme for rival fans to say, do you remember United had the worst manager in the Premier League? And I said this to Kev today, and I'll ask you lot this. Do you think do you think Ruben is more worried that if he puts the 4-2-3 on and we go and start banging it, that then he has to take the questions, why didn't you do this sooner? Do you think it's that? Do you think it's arrogance? I don't know what it is. I don't know what this manager wants from this group of players. I don't know what he wants this fan base to sit there and look at him and say. I don't know what he wants the media to come out and say, yes, I'm the biggest person on here that will go out there and call out people like Gary Neville, like Rio Ferdinand, like Phil Jones and all, he's ex-pros, like Joe Cole, like fucking Robbie Earnshaw. I'll call them out. But when they're dissecting what is going wrong at Manchester United with formations and how we play, I don't ever sit there and go, what a load of rubbish. They haven't got a clue what they're talking about. I don't do that because they're right. Everyone else in the world can see what is wrong with Manchester United, but one man, and the most important man, Ruben Amorim. He's the only one that can't see it. Sorry, Dan, I got it wrong with the date for Amorim's departure. I meant Liverpool on the 19th of October. Oh, Christ almighty, going away to Liverpool, man. Oh, God. Andy says, wonder if Garnacho will finish Amorim next week. I said this to Kev. That would be poetic, wouldn't it? That would be poetic. Garnacho at Old Trafford fires in a stunner right at the end. 2-1 we lose, or 3-1 we lose, or 4-1 we lose, and Amorim gets sacked. And you know that jumped up little shit would absolutely love that because he doesn't care about United. He's gone. He's joined the best club in the world now. Jumped on that hype, didn't he? I've joined the best club in the world. They've won a trophy saying it. What a prick. Wardzo says his system was very exploitable. He's not used to having quality managers proving this week in and week out. He's now completely out of ideas. This, by the way, Warbzo is probably the best comment of the night so far. A lot of managers come to the Premier League and just think it's easy. If you're a big club in the Premier League, yeah, it's fine. You can beat all the lesser teams. And then with the other ones, it's 90 minutes and just go for it. He hasn't done anything to make me think he is willing to change the way he is. And today, on the sideline, I said to Kev, he looked bang out of ideas. He was just stood there like... He looked out of ideas. Ben says, like I said during the watch-along, none of them understand what it means to play in a derby. No fight, no passion. Agree. He plays 5 at the back and sits back, and it's cowardly. I'll tell you what, we'll go into that, actually. 61st minute, we are 2-0 down. They are on the ascendancy. Man City are just breaching us every time they're going forward because we're chasing the game. What does he do? He brings on Harry fucking Maguire, who has got the pace on FIFA of, 22? He brings on Harry Maguire for Lenny Yoro, and then isolates us even more by having two of the back three who couldn't beat Mrs. Robinson in a race. That is the problem. And I said, as soon as it happened, I said, here we go. That'll spell trouble. That'll spell trouble. What happened? Again, I hate being right, but it happened. The substitutions made no sense. Bringing Sesko off made no sense. Then he comes out and says, oh, Sesko's still trying to get used to it. No, Sesko just needs service, mate. Just needs service. And when the third goal went in, he just gave up. It was pathetic. Agree. If we look at today, we got overrun in the midfield, and even his style of football of passing to the side constantly and hoping for a cross is not inspiring. We need a change. Agree with that. Jamie says, I think he'll be gone after Brighton over the international. If it wasn't for them, the manager wouldn't be there, is my point. Okay, I'll take that, Bill. Bill, yeah, I misread that, dude. I absolutely misread that. Yeah, then yeah, I agree. You know, maybe they do. Maybe they didn't do their due diligence enough. Maybe they saw a young manager in Portugal and thought, this guy's a banger. Maybe they saw that so many people were like linked with him, you know, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man City on. They thought, do you know what, we'll steal the show. And then he himself said, I don't want to come to the end of the season. They went, no, it's now or never. Not to mention the substitutions. We're playing like shit, and all he does is switch some players around with Maguire and comes on for you. Yeah, well, look. And even when he puts Ahmad on right wing back, that means Brian and him will be in each other's way going on. Honestly, we're going to sit here and try and blame the players. We can see that this style of play isn't getting our players involved as a team enough. It's mostly just individual brilliance. Do you know something? That, Mike, is going to be the next one. That's going to be, let's have a look at the poll. 72% of you think his time will be up if he loses against Chelsea. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. And this will be interesting from you guys. This will be interesting to know your opinion on this. Who is at fault? Okay, who is at fault? And I'm just going to put two. Players, Amorim. Players or Amorim? Who's at fault? Players or Amorim? Who is at fault at the moment in this absolute shit show? Who is at fault? With Amorim's formation, he only wants to push up a defender, which leaves only two at the back, which isn't good enough. But then with that, Steve, as well, like I go back to what he said about this formation that we're playing. It works best. It works because we have three defenders and five midfielders. I saw several times today. In fact, I reckon 90% of the time, five defenders, two midfielders, three attackers. You are not going to win football matches. And look, we've not even dissected the fact that Manchester City had their worst start to the season since 2004, 2005, I think I saw. It may have been a bit later. 2004, 2005, I'm sure it was that. That was their worst start. Manchester United had the chance today to go out there and inflict more misery. And I said it before with Kevin, I'll say it here now. What you had today was two teams, right? Two teams who needed a win. One team got it right with the formation. One team got it right with the way they progressed. One team knew exactly how to manipulate the midfield of Manchester United into falling out of position, pushing them into a back five. Who was that? Manchester City. Pep Guardiola absolutely schooled him today. He schooled him. Bill says Dan Ashworth wanted Eddie Howe or Southgate as a manager, and to be honest, in hindsight, he was absolutely correct. Either one of those two absolutely have steadied the ship with Dan Ashworth recruiting. But Gareth Southgate, you could say, would probably have been gettable. Eddie Howe would definitely not have been gettable. Eddie Howe would not have left Newcastle. No chance. And yeah, this stat still stands. Heard a stat that since we brought Yoro, we haven't won a home game. Well, I don't think we've won it. Did he end up? He didn't end up on the pitch, did he, against Burnley? So I think it still runs. Neil says, I'm done after today. However, there are players who need to be booted out, such as Binder, Shaw, Maguire, Ugarte, Casemiro, and Bruno. Well, okay. Here's the comment to that then. Here's the reply to that, Neil. Binder will be gone. Binder's done. We know that. Shaw, I think, will end up either going the end of this season or maybe he'll stick one more, but his contract is up the season after. Maguire's contract's up this season. Ugarte was decent in spells today. Casemiro will be gone at the end of the season as well. Bruno, I think we all know Bruno will probably end up after the World Cup in Saudi. It wouldn't surprise me at all. How would you do? Isaac, good to see you, mate. He says, who do you want in, Dan, to replace him? Glasner, Iriola? Do you know something, Isaac? I don't think I can answer that at the moment. I actually don't think I can answer that. And do you know why I can't answer that? Because at the moment, I don't know which manager I want to bring in to ultimately try and sort this mess out. Glasner would be a dream, but Glasner's done well at Palace. He has the belief of the players, but he still plays that 3-4-3. I don't know if it'd work with him. Iriola's quality, absolutely quality. But again, would he come in and steady the ship? I don't know. For the first time in my life, I don't know who I want to come in and try and sort this team out. I genuinely don't. Amorim should get sacked, says Mike. If he stays any longer, I don't want to see where we end up. Neil says he'd take either of them. And Andy says, who do we want as next manager? And do you know what? Who do you want as next manager, guys? Who do you want as next manager? Who would you take? Not forgetting that Manchester United have tried everything. They've tried up-and-coming managers. They've tried experienced managers. They've tried Premier League winning managers. They've tried ex-players to get the fans back on. Who's out there that could actually do anything with this squad? Who's out there that would come here and play a system that could make us competitive in the Premier League? I don't know. I don't know. Iriola, yeah, maybe. Maybe Iriola's the... I mean, I saw people saying Xavi. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Howe said yes, but not Southgate when his last job saw... Yeah, I mean, Southgate would never have been the right decision at Manchester United. I met Gareth Southgate at an event. He is the most boring man in the world. In my opinion, it's unfair to judge him on last season's stats. He made it clear and didn't want to come in then. He's cleared out the bomb squad in one window and there's at least 10 more that need to go. Ben, you know I love you, mate. You know I love you, but it's just not working. It's just... I love you, mate. And look, again, I'm not going to tell you you're an idiot for saying that. That is your opinion. From my side of it, looking at today for a derby game, looking at this constant want to play Bruno Fernandes as an 8, when I thought Kobe Mainoo come on and did so much better in that position. It just doesn't seem to be working, mate. And look, there's nothing wrong with you. If you want him there and you're willing to give him the time, that's on you, mate. That's on you. But I can't stomach a season where we do this again. Chow View says, yes, we can blame the manager, but the standard is set by the owner who hired him in the first place. And Chow, do you know something? Or KO View, I'm sorry if I've said your name wrong. Here's the thing with that comment that I do like and I do respect. If you're Amorim and you come in and and Barada's out there going, we want to win the league in 3 years, you're sat there thinking, okay, yeah, I've got 3 years really, because they're not gonna throw me out the door. As you know, I can just keep telling them, look, it's going to happen. The formation's going to work. I just need this. I just need that. I just need this. I just need that. He wanted. Here we go. Here's one for you all. He wanted Conor Gallagher. He wanted Conor Gallagher at the end of the window. Would Conor Gallagher come in and change our midfield? Is Conor Gallagher the guy to come in and sort this mess out? Absolutely not. Who's more stubborn, Amorim or Ange? I'd probably say Amorim. I think it's Amorim. Maybe he can't change rather than won't. I think it's won't, Chappie. I think it's... Let me have a sip. I think it's won't. Let me see how this vote's getting on. So at the moment, let me just scroll down. At the moment, 84% of you are saying that Amorim is at fault. Keep your votes coming in. I want to see them. Make sure you are liking and subscribing the video. Let's keep this conversation going. I want to get to the bottom of this. I fear it'll take a lifetime. He kept saying, I will change when I want to change, like a stubborn child. If you don't want to change when it's this bad, then he's a lost cause. And Warbzo, I can't argue with this comment. Like, I can't argue with everything you've just put here. I can't argue with that. Like, what is there to argue? He kept saying, I will change when I want to change, like a stubborn child. If you don't want to change when it's this bad, then he's a lost cause. Mike, what else we got here? He even said he won't change philosophy, and if Ineos don't back him, then they should sack him. In what world does that make sense? He's saying he'd rather get sacked than adapt. This has to be the thing, doesn't it? Like, this won't go away from him. Like I said to Kev today, I'm terrified that he's going to come out at the end of this and go, well, if you don't want me here, I'll go. Ay, caramba. We all knew it wasn't a quick fix, says Ben, and would take at least 4 transfer windows. He's only had 1. If you all get your way, and he goes, then what? Back to square one. But Ben. I just feel like what he's doing though, bro, isn't working. I feel like everything he's tried in this formation, making Bruno a central midfielder, constantly persisting with a difficult situation in goalkeeping, constantly persisting with always making changes at the back during a game. I don't know what he can do with this formation, mate. And again, I go back to it's going to cost another 250 million in January to try and save the season. Let's be honest, this season is already in danger of being absolutely ruined. Because hang on, let's bring it up. Let's go for Manchester United fixtures. Let's see what the next few fixtures are. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Right, let me just share this screen. Let me share this screen a second. Share. Do you believe in love? Right then, let me get rid of that one and let me add that one. Right, I'll zoom in. Don't worry, because I wouldn't expect you to be able to see that. Let me zoom in a second. And let me scroll down. Right then, hopefully you can all see that. That is Manchester United's next 6 fixtures. Okay, we are 14th as the table, as you can see there. Right, that is our. Let me see if I can bring that table in a little bit. Will it let me? No, it won't. That's a shame. Okay, well we can talk about the table in a minute. We'll talk about the table in a minute. That is Manchester United's next 6 fixtures. Right. Manchester United against Chelsea. I best we can hope for is a draw. Brentford away, who have just taken points off Chelsea. Tough away game with shite away. Then you got Sunderland at home. Then you got Liverpool away. Brighton at home, who we never do well against. Forest away. And you could argue Forest are in a mess at the moment. You could argue that. But looking at that in the league, that's the next 6 games. At the moment, I think we'd be lucky to get 5 points out of all them. And if we got 5 points out of all of them, that would take us to 9 points at the start of November. I can't bear it. I can't bear it. I honestly can't bear it. How many points from those next 6 fixtures could you honestly see us getting? At the moment, 5 at a push. At a push. I'll leave that on a second while I go through the comments here. Smash, and yes, as Sophie says, make sure you smash them likes and subscribe. It does help the channel. Isaac says, unfortunately, I didn't manage to watch the game. I had a long drive to Watford from Gloucester, so I can't really comment much on the performance. Isaac, you and I were idiots. You and I both said we were going to win. Do you know what I mean? You have to earn 4 transfer windows, and I agree with that. I do. I hope Amorim is still there and we play yous. Of course you do. I said it during the watch along. It's 1 week to turn it around now, so more time. You have crunch time now. So show us if you can do anything. Show us if you've got the ability to change this style fucking up, okay? Do it. Instead of coming out and saying that we need to stick with the system and stick with this. Oh, yeah. I'll get through your comments, guys. There are a lot. Sorry, I'm trying to get through them all. Wolveso says, we become so stretched and we're chasing games and you can feel the players know this too. When we go down, there is no feeling of hope and we'll come back. This is a system. Yeah, it is. It is. The players need to improve as well, but I can't blame them because half of them are playing out of position. If I was playing where I wasn't the best, I would also play shite. And I agree. The road to the poor fan with the fucking hair. He must be pulling it out tonight. He must be pulling it out. Weirdly enough, on Sesko, I'm glad he went to United instead of Newcastle. Bill, I can't handle this from Newcastle fans. I knew this would come. I knew it would come that they go, oh, he's not good enough. He's not good enough. Not good enough. He is good enough. He's just playing in a system that doesn't work. There's a guy we know about that. Well, we know about that. There's no one who could sort this team out. We're all right. Conte could do something, but Conte wouldn't come to United. Charles, definitely not Xavi. Silva, Sophie, thank you for reminding me about that. Thank you for reminding me. I have said Marco Silva since the start of the season, and actually I kind of feel like Marco Silva is a gettable option. I think Marco Silva would love to come to Manchester United, and I think he would be fantastic in steadying this ship. I think the way he plays football with Fulham, yes, They haven't won anything, but what they have done since he's been there, they've been promoted with him, and they've been sustainable in the Premier League, and they've got some decent results with him. Zizou will be at France at the end of the season. I think it's starting to get to a point where United genuinely are starting to become unattractive to a manager prospecting jobs, potentially. We're not going to be world beaters under any manager, says Chappie. We'll just bring Carrot back. I just go with, yeah, well, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me if that happens. Nuno, no chance. I don't want Nuno. I don't want Nuno. Don't want Nuno at all. No, don't want him. Don't want him. Just being competitive on a weekly base. 8 wins from 32, says Daz. I would like Eddie Howe or Villa manager. I'd like Margot Robbie and Anne Hathaway to come knock the door and take me out for a night, but it ain't going to happen, Jamie, unfortunately. Can we adapt poll to include Ineos and no Yankee leeches? So far, I've been spot on with how many points I thought we would be after the Chelsea game. I said Nuno would do good with the players, but I actually think he did good at Wolves and Forest. Still think Amorim will get time until at least the end of January. Not sure people like this one, but my vote goes to Spalletti. Isn't he the one who just got sacked from Italy? Did Spalletti get sacked from Italy? Let me take the fixtures down because they're absolutely breaking my heart looking at that. Dan, he must go. He could beat Brentford and Sunderland to spare him. Otherwise, it's a gruesome Halloween decision. I mean, this is it, isn't it? Do you sit here as a football fan and say, okay, let's take the losses against City and the inevitable one against Chelsea, and then we'll start playing teams around us where we need to be consistent. And I said that at the start of the season. I hold my hands up, but the way we're playing is appalling. I don't see us going there and beating Brentford at the moment. And I see us struggling against Sunderland. Sacked everyone of the club. This club is to be a total reset. Otherwise, nothing is going to change, and Barada has to be fired if we don't win the title in 2028. And he does and does. This is a great comment. Amorim does seem to create his own problems each month. He does. Ineos said it will take them 3 transfer windows to have a team up to standard 3-year project. It's also why I think Ruben is more secure in his seat than people think. Yeah. I mean, look, if you've got an ownership and a board that are saying that, then what are we supposed to do? It's not just the formation. I know we're set on it because it's a glaring constant, but there's been no improvement in our game in these 10 months whatsoever. And there absolutely hasn't been an improvement, you know, and we all got behind him and we all got all, you know, like Winston Churchill-esque, you know, we were going, oh, let him speak. What he's saying is incredible when he said, the bad times are ahead, but we're going to get there. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. After the Villa game, he said it. And I sit there and I go, it ain't getting better. Like, you tell me where this gets better. You tell me where the tide starts to turn. Surely the tide would have started to turn after the end of last season because he had a pre-season with these players telling them how he wanted to play in his formation. He had a pre-season away from everybody else. There was no media. He got just him and the players. He had all that time. And yeah, we had a couple of decent results against West Ham and Bournemouth, but then bang, straight back into it against Fiorentina and against Everton. It was straight back into it. Same old shit, same old day, just ridiculous. Ah, dearie me. Midfield 3 of Mainu, Casemiro, Ugarte. Front 3 of Cunha, Sesko, and Buemo. If he was trying it out and adapt to this, I believe we'd get more from our players. Oh, God. And you have to think, you have someone who thinks the same in this chat, Ben. Yeah, look, Ben, look, as I say, I'm not here to attack people's opinions. I'm not. We're not in a mess. We've had half a back line for most of the game, which Ange only had 1 full session to prepare. Yeah, I don't think Ange is it for you though, Isaac. I don't think Ange is it for you guys. What we're saying, give him till Halloween or we'll just be adrift. Don't waste another 6 months. No, we can't waste any more time. And you know something? This is a great comment. Did City look absolutely up against it? I mean, look, yeah, okay, Erling Haaland was a rock at the back defending corners. Donnarumma makes a phenomenal save against Brian. But at any point did we sit there and go, we're overpowering these? City looks, stunned here. No, we didn't, because the formation doesn't allow that, because we have to try and get our 2 wing-backs from being part of a back 5 to overlapping our strikers in one fell swoop. I'm not surprised that Mazraoui was taken off. I bet he was knackered. Dorgu, no wonder his crossing was shite at the end. He's probably have no power. Inzaghi, yeah, no chance. And as Welsh, I appreciate that one, Welsh United, but his contract would be ridiculous. I want him gone, Lawrence. However, Ineos will ensure that's not happening. We need to sack him, Dan. His system doesn't work. Why he didn't play Le Mans today? Binder is terrible. Binder in the first 2 minutes, man, almost slips over, gifts him a goal. Binder just isn't it. Like, it's like lining me up to score, to take shots at a 5-year-old in big size goals. I know I'm going to hit the target. It's the same with Binder. Teams look at Binder and go, boom, I'm scoring today. The difference between the teams was a striker and a keeper that were fantastic. Ours were not. Nah, Anthony, the midfield as well. Nuno's available. I don't want Nuno. And Jose, no, we can't have Jose. We absolutely would be. It would be a mess if we brought Jose back. Jose is finished as a top manager. He is. I love Jose Mourinho. I love him. A big part of watching football growing up, and this guy in press conferences getting under the skin of everyone. But nah, definitely not. We could accept it if we could see some improvement, but that's not happening. Let me go to the poll a second. So 79%, I'm going to end the poll there, say it is Amorim's fault. 79% say it. That's mad. And what else are we saying here? Sorry, I've lost my bloody moose. Haaland destroyed us. The dude had 5 goals and 2 assists earlier in the week. He is going to go on a rampage now, potentially. I mean, if you could try and nick Pochettino, I don't want Pochettino either. I didn't want Pochettino when we were linked to him last time. I think the biggest one is go for Marco Silva. How long's Marco Silva got left on his contract at Fulham? Because you can't just think about the money it would cost to sack Amorim. You have to think about the money it would cost to bring a manager in. Marco Silva. Oh, God, I can't even bloody see it, man. I think he's got a year, has he? Has he got a year? Chat, let me know if I'm wrong. I think he's got a year left on his contract. And Ineos, goalkeeper was a massive issue. If they couldn't see, oh God, if Ineos and the manager as well couldn't see in pre-season that we had 2 bozos between the sticks, then I absolutely I don't feel sorry for any of them. And yeah, Poch is doing horrendous there. I mean, the only reason they're in the World Cup is it's their host. Dominic says, why buy Le Mans for the future if there was a Vitek who looks a top keeper? Bournemouth manager would do well if we change our manager. And we're not good at keeping the ball or pressing. We're still doing long balls from the goalkeeper, and this system is glaringly bad. Still reliant on individuals. It is. What about the Celtic manager? Come on, Richard, you got to be trolling with that, mate. We're not having Brendan fucking Rodgers. Haaland isn't the issue. We created nothing up front. If Haaland outplayed us, then fair enough. But it was over when Foden scored. And I thought Foden and Doku had our number today. I thought they looked incredible. And I think it was because they could drop into little spaces each and every time. They became inside forwards all the time. They could just drop in, pick the ball up, all the space available to them, and make it hurt Manchester United. And like I said, Man City didn't get out of 3rd gear. They didn't get out of 2nd gear. Christ. We never looked like scoring. We don't. Haaland was better defensively than any of our players. Speaks volumes. Zidane. Zidane won't come to United. He won't. He won't do it, Cheesy. He won't. And to be fair as well, Glasner probably would take the job if we offered it him. I doubt we would have to pay much either, as Palace want to renew his contract, so he doesn't go for cheap. I just don't think this system works. And Glasner plays that system, Glasner loves this system. The question is Glasner a better coach than Ruben Amorim? Could Glasner come here with this formation and coach the players better? That is the question. I'm not sure if he could. I don't know. Le Mans needed loan in top 5. Martinez would have slotted in, but no Ineos, and we won't pay 30 million. Agree. Dan, picture Ruben's face on DiCaprio's body. I ain't fucking leaving. Oh, dearie me. Glasner probably would have been a good shout. Guys, it's been a bad day. it's been a bad day. And look, I'm probably going to get a panel show this week because I want more people to come on and have their say about this. Chappie is completely right. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. But one thing's for certain, Manchester United fans, we are in crisis. Manchester United are in crisis because I'll bring it back up again. If we continue on this trajectory, and let me just zoom that back in for you again. If we continue on this trajectory, Manchester United at the moment, Chelsea, absolutely horrendous. I don't see us getting anything in that. Maybe a draw. Brentford are always tough away. Sunderland, Liverpool away, Brighton at home, Forest away. In those games, for Ruben to keep his job, and for him to prove to us that this formation can work, we need to get a minimum of 9 points. A minimum of 9 points from those 6 games. We have to. I don't see it with Marco Silva, to be honest, and he's only got a year left on his contract. I just don't think Marco Silva has the temperament to work at a big 6 club, especially the biggest one. Would you say ours does at the moment, Isaac? I take it, though. Get the load. I'm not getting them on. They'll bloody laugh at me, Bill. I do need to get Pete and the lads on at some point, though. That will happen. And you could be... And there we go, Isaac. Isaac speaks ball. He does speak ball. But, guys, thank you for withstanding that. We will be back tomorrow at 7:30. Let's see what the next 24 hours divulges. Let's see what news comes out of Manchester United. Let's see if the owners come out and say anything about this mess. Because, trust me, you think this is bad... It's only going to get worse. That was the weirdest way of saying only ever. Only way it's going to get worse. We've got no Europe. We've got no cup. It's the Carabao fucking Cup this week. And we ain't even in that. We've got one cup. We're in the FA Cup. That's it. It's fucking September. And Manchester United are in one cup. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's just abysmal, and I don't know how much more. I don't know how much more of this Manchester United fans can take. And like I said at the start of the video, we are in danger, absolute danger of being gaslighted here, because like I said at the start of pre-season, Europe any means necessary. We're Manchester United. Ask yourself the question: would other big clubs say any means necessary to get into Europe? No, they wouldn't, because their fans demand more, because the ownership demands more, because the players should expect more. That is where we are as a club. I will see all of you tomorrow at 7:30. Make sure you like on the way out and subscribe. Drop a comment if I've missed any of them. Put them in the comment section, and I'll get back to you. Have a fantastic evening, you beautiful Manchester United fans. Absolutely adore each and every one of you. Dan United, Angry United, Uta.